Education is the source of our world's future leaders and innovators. The quality of the educational system underpins individuals, communities, societies, and even civilizations. Certainly, the goal of the educational system is to shape future members of society. Good day, everyone. Our group would like to present the educational system of Myanmar. Myanmar, often known as Burma or the Golden Land, is a Southeast Asian country located in the western part of the continent. The educational system is run by government's Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education bears the responsibility of education in partnership and coordination with 12 other ministries. On the other side, the Ministry of Education is primarily responsible for the educational system. The Ministry of Religious Affairs has recently reinstated monastic schools. The Ministry of Science and Technology oversees technical high schools and vocational schools. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation oversees agriculture high schools. Next, let us know the Myanmar's educational aim, vision, mission, and the main educational goals. The aim of education in Myanmar, according to the Ministry of Education, Myanmar is to nurture future-oriented advanced science and technology professionals, support national economic development, and promote research. To rectify and strengthen the purposes, Ministry of Education expanded into new Ministry of Science and Technology in 1996. This ministry focused on research and development, intellectual property, standardization, quality assuring, basic infrastructure development, nuclear safety, and human resource development. Myanmar's educational vision is to provide the highest quality education to the people of Myanmar and to make that education accessible to families who are interested in investing in their children's futures, as well as to become a leading Myanmar national curriculum school serving the nation with passionate learners and aspiring leaders, high-quality faculty, and organizational excellence among its staff. Next is the mission, which is to provide Myanmar's future leaders with every tool they needed to build a nation that communicates and collaborates with mutual respect, to inspire intellectual and personal growth in their students, to prepare them for meaningful and ethical contributions to a diverse global society, and to provide critical thinking skills to their future leaders. They go beyond teaching students how to be effective students in the classroom to teaching them how to be a good members of the community and citizens of Myanmar and the world. And of course, their goals, which is to enable every individual to obtain a basic education, to base education on the raising of moral standards to develop knowledge, including scientific and technical know-how, needed for the nation building to train technicians, skilled workers, and proficient intellectuals with practical knowledge who are loyal to the state and will contribute to the nation building endeavors, and train citizens to achieve all-round growth and provide university education to all those with the intellectual aptitude, capacity, and tenacity to pursue it. Going forward, let us have an emphasis on the salient features of the educational system in Myanmar. Preschool and kindergarten. Preschools are open to children over the age of 2 who are in long-term care or are in the public system. Kindergarten begins at the age of 5 years and 8 months, not younger than 4 years and 8 months at the same time of the school's start date. Primary education is the first level of basic education and is, in theory, mandatory. Primary school consists of 5 years of instruction, including 1 year of preschool, and is divided into 2 cycles, lower and upper primary. The minimum age for entry is 5 years old. It lasts 6 years and students must pass a comprehensive test of 4 topics after Standard 4 to progress to secondary school. Secondary schools, which include both middle and high schools, are frequently united. Standard 5 to Standard 8, lower secondary level, are offered at secondary middle schools, while Standard 9 and Standard 10, matriculation, are offered in secondary high schools for the upper secondary level. Middle schools are the first stage of secondary education where students progress from Standard 5 to Standard 8 before taking their Standard 8 exams. All students in high school must take Myanmar, English, and mathematics as required subjects. Geography, history, and economics are majors in arts, while chemistry, physics, and biology are majors in science. Next is tertiary education. Myanmar's universities are still heavily centralized and run by the government. Bachelor's degree programs, master's degree programs, and doctorate degree programs are all available at universities. The higher education system follows a 4-1-3-year structure, with a bachelor's degree taking 4 years, qualifying coursework taking 1 year, and master's degree taking 3 years. This is only true for certain types of institutions such as universities of arts and sciences and universities of economics. However, some professional universities such as technological universities provide lengthy bachelor's degree programs with the first degree lasting at least 6 years. At technological universities, a master's degree takes another 2 to 3 years and a doctoral degree requires another 3 to 5 years. And of course, their technical and vocational education. In Myanmar, relevant ministries and the business sector provide technical and vocational education and training. The technical and vocational education and trainings are primarily administered by the Ministry of Education's technical high schools and technical institutes. And now, let us proceed to the educational challenges in Myanmar. Myanmar's educational system, like its political system, is in disarray. According to the ASEAN Development Bank, 25.6% of Myanmar's population lives below the poverty line, making it difficult for them to attend formal school. Many of the present educational changes in Myanmar are focused at repairing the damage that the military junta has inflicted. Currently, most public schools have limited access to textbooks and supplies, and most teaching methods are rote. On top of that, much of the school infrastructure is in poor condition, there is a teacher shortage, and classrooms are overcrowded. Overcrowding is a serious issue that impedes efficient teaching, with a pupil-to-teacher ratio of 28:1 in primary schools and 34:1 in secondary schools, far higher than ratios of 16:1 in primary schools and 19:1 in secondary schools in neighboring Thailand. The Department of Basic Education, on the other hand, appears to be committed to alleviating the burden. Likewise, the COVID-19 pandemic and the social and political crisis that has displaced over 200,000 adults and children have all impeded children's learning across the country. As a result, the education of about 12 million school-aged children and young adults has been disrupted. Missed learning has far-reaching and escalating effects for their development, mental health, and future opportunities. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 related health risks remain considerable. The availability of safe and ongoing learning opportunities is still in jeopardy. There is still reports of attacks on educational institutions and their workers, as well as military usage of educational infrastructure. The global epidemic as well as the current crisis constitute a threat to children's learning in Myanmar. Flexibility is required to combat this threat. UNICEF aids throughout the country with a particular focus on the Chin, Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Moon, Rakhine, and Shan states, as well as the Yang region, where the problems are the most severe. Children's prospects are jeopardized when they are denied access to education for an extended period. Childhood is fleeting and learning opportunities are few. Many people who have missed out on school will struggle to catch up and may never have another opportunity to learn. Despite of the rising challenges in the educational system, Myanmar is finding ways or opportunities for everyone's learning. UNICEF is focusing on reaching the most vulnerable people with the help of non-governmental organizations. The goal is to make learning accessible to the poorest children in urban and rural areas, as well as those living in displaced persons camps and those in remote places. Primary and middle school students will receive educational resources. Children's learning and language development, as well as their mental health and psychological well-being, are all being supported by partners who have been taught. UNICEF is also assisting in training of ethnic language instructors as well as the dissemination of local language storybooks. UNICEF is aggressively expanding its reach and altering its programs to assist children affected by the country's fast-changing humanitarian circumstances. UNICEF focuses on its 70-year track record in Myanmar in all its initiatives. Even during times of strife and turmoil, assistance has been provided. This activity allowed us to learn more about Myanmar's educational system and compare it to other ASEAN countries. Understanding that collaboration is essential in all ASEAN members when it comes to planning, coordinating, and implementing various programs, projects, and activities that will help each country improve and sustain its educational institutions, particularly in Myanmar. The different educational activities give hope to every child in Myanmar that they will be able to complete a full cycle of good quality basic education, resulting in a learning society capable of facing the challenges of the 21st century. That's all, hoping that everyone acquired indispensable learnings on this video. Thank you and be safe everyone.